Hey everybody, we're back and we're talking some wrestling. So, what do I got here? Oh, we got some updates on my phone here. All right, and let's go over a couple of notes, which is this. We're talking about SmackDown from March 4th.
Yep.
And Raw from March 7th, 2022. Just in case someone is watching this or came across this video in the future and they all have flying cars and we're still,
hoverboards
and all that stuff. So it's March 4th and March 7th of 2022. SmackDown Raw, the road to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is coming pretty soon. Well, not that soon, really. It seems like it should be sooner than it is. I almost feel like there's like a pay-per-view missing or something.
Well, considering that there's a lot of dead air now on the shows, it's like kind of like you see the problem I'm having now with WrestleMania, and this has come about lately, is there's no real build-up anymore. Like it used to be, Royal Rumble was where you, and sometimes even sooner, is where you would get these seeds of like these guys will be facing off at WrestleMania, and then you would see the next couple months that stuff come to fruition. It was actually supposed to be a culmination of like the year's worth of storylines.
Right.
And because I think, when did Andre fight? Like, when did he sort of start his confrontations with Hogan? I think it was like the year prior. Like,
they really built that one up big time. Like for WrestleMania 3, I remember he was on Piper's Pit and he ripped the chain. Like, when was the chain? The ripping the cross.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid thinking, "Oh my God, this can't be happening! Like this is not possible."
Well, it's scary as hell. Like
that was crazy. I challenge you for the world title, and you're like, "Oh my God!" It's like, "Oh well, Hulk Hogan's going to die at WrestleMania 3." Like that's it. Like he can't win. Like
well, he's not beating Andre, right? But yeah, I don't know, because now, like, how they do it is so weird. It's just like someone comes out and says, "I want to fight you at WrestleMania," and then that's the match, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Even this tag, I mean, look, Liv, I'm wearing her shirt. She's awesome, but like, what, her and Rhea are now going for the tag championship belts at Mania. Like, okay. They didn't, like, what happened?
When were they a team?
Like, when did this happen? It's just so random. And then even Naomi, that was that whole thing the other whatever week it was where it's like, we're now tag champions, or we're tag teams. Like, you are? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've never seen the two of you in the same room. Like, I literally could have thought you were the same person.
It's like, who are you guys? Yeah, so it's that's Sasha Banks and Naomi, and it's like, we're a team now. It's like, we are? Oh, well, okay.
I think when we if we get into it, like SmackDown, I think they've realized that, because they had Carmella versus Naomi, and Naomi basically squashed Carmella. Like, it was like, what, 2 minutes?
Yeah, well, we can get into that. That's pretty much the first thing of this stream anyway. Yeah, so it was Naomi with Sasha Banks, who was barefoot or something.
Yeah, she became barefoot, and I'm like, it happens over social media.
Yeah, let's discuss that before we even get into this. Hey, Double C, let's discuss that, because now, because wrestling has expanded, and so I've started to. I mean, I caught on to this. Old man J man. It's gonna be like old man Logan, old man J man, or something. So old J man started to piece stuff together. So maybe I should follow these people on Twitter and stuff. So then I'm following them on Facebook and Twitter, and Instagram, and I'm like, okay. And now I'm starting to see, because like, Becky posted, like showing her marks on her chest or whatever. And then, and like people are responding to that. I'm like, oh shit. It's like, so I guess this is how it's going to be. But I always feel we got into this discussion a little bit when we were talking about the Batman, where I don't know if was there a prequel comic perhaps or something? Because I didn't see any prequel comics when I went to the shops, but people were saying that you have to, there's a comic or a book or something that explains, some of the stuff. And they do this with movies all the time. It's like Star Wars comes out and there's like a prequel Star Wars comic. But I think like it's got to be self-contained, right? Like I can't invest everything I have into following everything that happens. It's like Doctor Who. I've heard maybe 10 or 12 Big Finish, well, maybe more, like maybe 7 to 10 Big Finish Doctor Who's, and they're great. But like that's almost its own thing. Like I can't watch Doctor Who everything that comes on, and then I got to read all Doctor Who comic books, and then I got to listen to all Big Finish audio. It's like Star Wars. I'm a live action Star Wars guy. That's pretty much the most I can devote my time to. So I'm a Raw SmackDown pay-per-view person. I can't watch, like I can't try to see every house show what happened, because people will tape stuff and they show a little bit of the Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns thing. It's like I can't follow all of these things. It's just, so I feel that if you're leading up to something, it's got to be contained within the main thing. So to me, Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, that's the quote-unquote real main canon. It used to be if it happened at a house show, it didn't happen. Like shit, I'd see guys get defeated because I've been to a few, and guys would get defeated. You're like, whoa, this guy got defeated. But it's like, but that what? It's like, and then it's like, oh, he's not really defeated. It's like the house shows don't matter, right? Like,
well, it's sort of like when you read comic books, when you read The Incredible Hulk and like something is mentioned, you're like, I don't recall that from the last issue. It's like, oh, that happened in, like Daredevil number 4.
Right.
And you're like,
yeah, see Daredevil number 4. You're like, yeah, I'm not reading Daredevil.
Yeah, but I'm not reading that. So you just have to basically assume if I'm not going to do all of that, there's going to be things I miss. Hopefully they make it up so it doesn't, it's not essential, right? It's like playing a video game. Like, what's the thing that always drove everyone nuts? When it's like, where do I find this thing? It's like, oh, you have to go through this room and then for some reason think to tear the curtains down and there's a secret door. And then that like you have to make it
Castlevania,
accessible.
the famous Castlevania where you have to duck and like go through that wall or something.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And I know that. How do I know that?
How would I think? Like, it was more so like the frustrating thing about those games was like, why would I just see this brick wall? I'm like, you know what? I bet there's something behind that brick wall. Let me run into it at full speed. It's like, I wouldn't do this in normal. Why would I do this here? Like,
yeah,
because essentially wherever you are in the virtual world or that, you're still going to act like you. If you wouldn't run into a brick wall in real life, you're probably not going to think to do it in a video game unless there's a precedent for it where it's like, oh, I know you've always had to, like, it's whipping. It was the whole thing with the whipping of the torches in Castlevania. Why would I whip a torch? Oh, there's stuff in there. But I would, I don't walk around, like the.
Yeah, I think like you discovered that by accident. Like, you keep whipping and you're like, oh, what happened there? It's like, oh shit, I hit that. And it's like, oh, it gave me something, right? Like, yeah, it's like almost like, you just discovered it by accident.
The nerd video where he's like, why would you whip a wall for a pork chop? Like, he's like whipping his own wall. It's like, there's better be a pork chop here. Yeah. Like, it's the same thing. Like, it's the same thing. If you're going to do this in wrestling where I have to follow, so make it like known to me. And make it like, don't waste my time, because it's the same thing. There's going to be 99% filler and 1% I got to pay attention to. Well, if it's only 1%, I'll skip it and take my chances, right?
Yeah, they could do stuff where they could be like, like they're like, oh, look at what happened, on Twitter last week or something. And then it's like, just show a couple of clips or something. I know they're keeping it going. I think it is neat. It's neat in the sense that, like, you're following, Becky Lynch or
the storyline,
who's like keeping up her character.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, look at what happened to me, and this is all because of you, Bianca, and I'm going to get you. And, and like she was saying, oh, we need her, cut the hair. Like, you shouldn't have the hair and all this. And Bianca's like, too bad. So I mean, it's really neat if you are following it. Like, I mean, it'd be cool if like, you know, like if Robert Pattinson all of a sudden was just tweeting out as Bruce Wayne all the time, pretending that he was on some case or whatever. You know what I mean? It'd be, but like, I mean, wrestling's got that unique thing where the characters are like real people who continuously play that all the time.
Right.
They don't just show up and shoot their scenes and then, you know, they film their movie for a few months and then it's done. These people are constantly in character. So it is tough. Like I remember I don't know what was the first time, like Terry Bollea, like when was the first time you heard that? Like I mean, I knew Hulk Hogan wasn't the guy's name, but I thought it was Hogan or something, like, you know, like
wasn't he called Terry Hulk Hogan Bollea in Rocky 3?
I don't know. I know Thunder Lips is what his wrestling name was.
Wrestling name was there, yeah.
I don't know if they gave him another name. I mean, I just called him Hulk Hogan in that, but obviously it's not Hulk Hogan. But I remember like even if they said Terry Hogan or Terry Hulk Hogan or whatever it was, like I thought Hogan was part of his name, and then it wasn't until like, you know, when you hear like, oh, his name is really this, it's like, whoa, like that's not even close. And it's weird when somebody picks a real name that's not close to their name.
I know.
Like you'd think they'd take their real name and maybe like Richard Fleur is Ric Flair, right? Is that
right?
His? So I mean, that's not that far removed.
Yeah, but then you get guys like Colby Lopez is Seth Rollins,
right? Like what is that? Like it's just like, why did you think of Seth Rollins? Like
I have no idea. Like Roman Reigns, we know his family's Samoan. Like, you know, his name is not Roman Reigns. Like, it's not. But then you have Brock Lesnar, who is legit Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, like, and Ronda Rousey. Like, what? Like, if Roman Reigns, like maybe his, like, I would think his name is like Roman, and then some weird last R name or something, and he's like, oh, I'll just call myself Reigns. It'll just be easier, you know, like instead of like, yeah, right. But I mean, but I guess if you start your career as a certain character, you know, it's like then you abbreviate that name or whatever. Like Hulk Hogan, let's say he was I don't know, what did he start, like what was his, or some of his other names before that? I think he was always Hogan or something, the Incredible Hulk Hogan or something.
Yeah, I think so. He was usually Hogan.
Yeah, Hogan was there, which is so weird because that's not at all part of his thing.
No, not at all. I never understood like Dean Ambrose as John Moxley. That's his real name. Like
what
things like that. Like at least Alexa Bliss is Alexis, so it's close, and then Kaufman. But like Sasha Banks is Mercedes, and she's got a hyphenated last name. It's like really long.
Yeah, like what's wrong with Mercedes as a fighter name?
I have no idea.
Right? Like, I mean, you know, like that's like an okay name. Yeah, Liv Morgan is got like an Italian.
Yeah, she's
Gianna something. Yeah.
And like Becky Lynch, of course, is Rebecca Quinn.
Yeah, so Becky, okay. And then like Quinn, I mean Becky Quinn, like it'd be the same thing. Big time Bex, so. it'd be like it wouldn't affect anything.
And Charlotte Flair is Ashley Fleur.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so I mean,
I don't think Rhea Ripley's name is Rhea Ripley, obviously.
You're right. It's Ellen Ripley. No. All right, so SmackDown, it was Naomi with Sasha Banks on her side versus Carmella with Queen Zelina on her side. Carmella has to go put on her mask or whatever, which is just like what I the mask thing is kind of funny, but some of the masks look really weird. Like she had different colors, and the color, I just made a note saying, well, the mask looked really weird.
It looks to me like a Hannibal Lecter mask. I'm like, yeah. Why is the so-called most beautiful woman in WWE wearing like a Mankind mask? Like it's ultra protected, but I'm like, but you look bizarre. And the problem is too, is that you can tell the material is like fabric. So how's it protecting her face?
I was just gonna say it looks very cheap. Like it's not protecting her at all.
Yeah, I don't get it. Naomi squashed her.
You're right.
I mean, she barely had any offense. I don't like Sasha Banks as a very happy character, and that's going to sound kind of weird, but like it doesn't fit her. She's the legit boss. She has an attitude. Her being like a cheerleader for Naomi is like hyper weird to me.
You know what? It just seemed weird anyway. Like I don't know if she's just being like asked to do this, but
It has to be
because it doesn't seem very realistic for her, and I don't really know Sasha from before, so I'm just watching. I'm like, ooh, she doesn't look like she's into this. Like I kept thinking she's gonna hit her or something. I mean, I know that's not gonna happen now because they just joined, but I was thinking, oh, this is a Shawn Michaels ready to go.
Yeah.
Like that's obviously gonna happen, guaranteed.
Oh, yeah. It has to. But like the other thing is that why make the champions so weak? Like Carmella had almost no offense and she got basically squashed. And I remember after it's I'm like, that's it. Like she got annihilated. Like, don't you want your champions being strong into WrestleMania?
Yeah, the rule is that well the rule, it's whatever you want it to be, but is that the champions always it's like they either win through some sneak tactics or something like that, or the faces just kind of barely win or something like that. Like this like idea that she just like nails her and you're like, oh okay. It's like, well, Carmella sucks. Like obviously like you know the Naomi and Sasha are gonna destroy these people. But they're not even fighting in the tag match.
And we'll
what was the point?
Yeah, we'll get to that. But I think part one had to do with part two. Like when I saw what happened, I'm like, yeah, Double C, I agree. Heel Sasha is the best version of Sasha. This is closer to she's either got to be a heel or she's got to be a tweener, where she's not really full on like, you know, mustache twirling villain, but she's not a good guy. Like she'll hit and attack the good guys as well. Like that to me, she's got to be at minimum a tweener, preferably a heel.
Yeah, so this leads to the confusion of Carmella just gets destroyed.
Yeah.
And then they're not even fighting. So it like if they're going to be fighting at WrestleMania and this is just sort of like an appetizer, it's like okay, you know, the good guys won or whatever, but they're not even fighting them. Like Rhea Ripley is going to do like Rhea and Liv will have to obviously win. They're way better than Zelina and Carmella. Like it's like they're like way better.
That's why it's a triple threat match now, right? Because I feel like they even realized that no one is going to wonder if Naomi and Sasha are going to beat Carmella and Queen Zelina.
Yeah.
Like no one is going into that match wondering what the outcome is. So let's put in another hot face team with at least one solid.
Yeah, like Rhea Ripley's not going to lose.
Mid upper Carter, which is Liv and Naomi, and one star, which is Sasha and Rhea.
Yeah,
and maybe make that a little bit more.
Yeah, but we know Carmella's not, and Carmella and Zelina.
Well, Carmella and Zelina might as well not even be in the match. What they should do is really have either Naomi or Sasha or Rhea and Liv win the titles and make it a straight them versus Sasha and Naomi.
Yeah.
And see where that goes.
Do they still do ladder matches or no?
Occasionally. Usually just for TLC. The pay-per-view.
Yeah. I was going to say they should do like a ladder match or something.
But like just brutal having her lose. Yeah, they're not. You're right, Double C. They're not. Like they're just I have no freaking idea. Like when Naomi did that split-legged moonsault, which looks great.
That was awesome.
And hit her. I'm like, that's it? And it's like 1, 2, 3. I'm like, yeah, that's it? It was bad. It was really bad booking.
Yeah,
we'll get to a little bit more to Raw match, but like that Naomi Carmella match was just, it was god awful. I was shocked how bad it was. So
okay, so next was Sonya Deville versus Ronda Rousey. So this was Ronda Rousey's first ever SmackDown appearance. So of course she's gonna lose. Like I mean, like you know things like that need to be said after the match.
I know.
Not that I like. Look, we knew Ronda was gonna win anyways. But you know, like don't it's like, by the way, this is her first appearance. Oh, well, I guess she'll lose this match for sure now. It's like, oh, come on.
WWE is not doing a great job with the female heels, with the exception of both Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
They're not really doing a great job because there's nothing there. Like Sonya Deville has not won a match in God knows how long, and she's against Ronda Rousey, who's a legit fighter, on her first match.
Right.
Like, I could understand why people would want to turn off the television. They just stayed on to say, how badly is Ronda going to beat her? I noticed lately there's a pattern that Ronda gets her ass kicked for a little bit, and then she just does, and this is where I was like, Charlotte Flair came out and said she's a one-trick pony, and I was sort of sitting there thinking, I could see why you would say that, because WWE's not giving her any offense. Like, here's how it goes. Match starts, Ronda gets her ass kicked a bit, whatever thing. Then Ronda comes up, she hits a couple of jabs, some knees, she hits Piper's Pit and hits the arm, the arm bar, and that's it. She did a couple of judo throws too. And I'm like, okay, they're treating her a bit like Goldberg, where Goldberg would just come in, maybe he'd get beat up a bit, then he'd hit spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3. They're not really showing that Ronda's a very versatile fighter. Like, her move set is appearing to be limited.
Yeah, there's some good, like, there, like, you know, doing, like, there was some good stuff in there. I was trying to write my notes, the figure 4 through the ropes and stuff like that. Like, there's some cool things, but like, I didn't see anything like Ronda does some good hits and stuff, and she'll do like some knees or some judo throws and stuff. But I mean, I've literally seen her do, because I watch her on her YouTube channel, and she shows you how to do she shows you how to do like judo throws and stuff. Anyways, it's like, oh, okay, so what the heck? Like, we know she could just do that anyways. So it's not anything spectacular going on. And then, Charlotte is just like, well, you know, you got your arm bar and that's all you got. And it's like, yeah, that is kind of all you got. Like, what the heck? But like, I don't know. I still think like they need to, like, if they're going to treat her like Hulk Hogan, if Ronda Rousey is going to be Hulk Hogan, right? Where it's like, but Hogan still lost in some ways where like it'd be some interference or some bullshit or something. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with, Ronda losing in some weird way, interference or some shit like that. But like, it's like, Ronda comes in, takes a couple of hits, and then it's like, she does her moves and she wins. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's becoming predictable. And it seemed that Sonya had the more innovative offense in this match. So it was kind of weird to me that you wouldn't again make Ronda, who is a legit star, look better going it, because Charlotte Flair is a very, like, she's a total package. She's got everything. She's got the mic, she's got the looks, and she's got the skills. She's got the moves, right? She's an Amazon. She's tall and she's flexible. She can hit the big boot, natural selection, the figure 8, all those moves. And Ronda's going to come in there with jabs. And I'm like, okay, it looks weird to me, right? Like Ronda, and people die over Piper's Pit. And I'm like, it's cool, but it's a freaking Samoan drop. I've seen it done 100 times.
Yeah, like, right. Yeah, something like you're like, whoa, that was,
yeah.
You know.
It isn't like one of those set. Even like when Jake Roberts came in, the short arm clothesline we'd never seen before, and that would set up the DDT, and we're like, holy shit, what the hell? Like it's like a whiplash clothesline. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Like Piper's Pin, I'm like, okay, she gave her a Samoan drop. Granted, looks good, but it's a Samoan drop.
Yeah.
I think the best she looked afterwards was throwing Charlotte into the ankle lock. I'm like,
yeah, I noted that as well. Yeah, Charlotte came in her high heels, and it's like, and then it's like, oh.
Yeah, no, that was great. And let's face it, Ronda's armbar is sick. How she loads it up and then she drops.
Yeah,
it looks painful. I don't know. I don't ever want to be in it, but it looks like it's painful. So
yeah, the real one, because I've watched all of her fights. The real one is not that great. Like it's like because it's like they're always struggling.
Yeah,
it's always like jujitsu basically. She's struggling on the ground, and then she gets her arm, and then and you're just like, you can't even tell what's happening, and they just tap like that something happened there. Like she had her arm, and it's like she'll twist. She makes like they're dramatizing it big time.
Yeah, big time.
You know, because really it's an arm. It's like you grab the person's arm. You're like, okay, don't break my arm. All right. It's like, well, that's not anything.
Yeah, it just looks like she's holding her outstretched arm.
Yeah, but like it's just like this. Clap. It's like nothing happened. That's what it looks like in real life. Watch your matches. You're just like, what happened? Like literally, if you're not trained or not thinking about it, or you're not trained, or you haven't watched a lot of UFC, you'll just be like, what is happening right now? It's like nothing happened.
But like the theatrics she did with it was pretty good, and I think it set up the move really well to look better than when you think about it's like, you know, even when she was doing the ankle lock, you could see she was holding her foot straight, so it wasn't really twisting the ankle.
Right.
She's just holding her foot there, but Charlotte sold it like a champ. So
yeah, Charlotte sold it like it was the most painful thing ever that ever happened. I'm like, she's just holding your leg. Like, all right, that was it for SmackDown, man.
I mean, where is everyone? Like, you know, I that's going to be a common refrain. Where is everyone? Yeah, like there's a lot more. Like, you had Zia Lee come out and fight Natalya last week and have her debut, and she looked pretty good. And
bring her back.
Don't have her on.
Yeah, give her another match. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. All right, we're on to Raw already. It's only been less than half an hour. I try to give half an hour per episode per segment, and the first 15 minutes we're talking about other stuff. This will be a short stream today, which is okay. We have Dana Brooke versus Tamina, and we've got this kiss thing going on, which like I literally don't care about. What's the guy's name? Akira? No.
Akira Kazawa.
Yeah, Akira's like, I love you. You're like the woman of my dreams and all that. I'm like, oh, okay. And I know it's played for laughs or it's trying to be cute, I guess. I mean, I'm like, oh, okay. I don't even.
They're just doing it too much. They're just doing it like they both kissed their people. Like, I think it's better how Akira, like the Reggie Dana thing is just like whatever. I like the Akira Tamina thing because she's like way taller than him, and she's like she kisses him brutally, like she grabs him and just yeah. So at least it's like funny and entertaining in that way.
And he's like,
yeah, he's just like destroyed. Like Reggie and Dana doing it, like Dana Brooke, they need to do something with her. They need to train her. She's got one move, the flipping the springboard, whatever the hell it is, elbow.
Yeah.
Like she rolled up Tamina. They say this on What Culture, and I agree. Like the most devastating move in WWE is the surprise roll up because it wins almost every time.
Oh my god!
Like what? Why?
Maybe like small package or whatever.
Yeah, small package.
I'm like, okay, why is this like a
I don't
and the
get
handful of I never understood how the handful of tights mattered either. Like,
No.
what is the physics behind the handful? I like how there's like weird physics in wrestling where it's like he's holding his tights. It's like, I don't. Why is that? Like, it's giving him an extra grip, but like it's just underwear. Like, just kick out of it. Like it's not a wedgie. It's the other way.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's like you're holding it this way so that it's like his pants will just come off. It's like, oh my god, he had the tights. He had the tights. It's like, well, why does that matter? It's like I don't. I mean, I know I understand why it matters in wrestling terms, but why does it matter in physics?
Well, the other one is someone's got someone in a abdominal stretch, and then they put out their arm, and the other person grabs their arm, and then puts more pressure on them. I'm like, how does that work? Like, how is that putting more pressure on the abdominal?
Yeah, like like I don't. Yeah, like why is that making it worse?
Yeah, like during the abdominal stretch, and it's like person A puts out his arm, person B grabs it, and all of a sudden the other person's destroyed, like who's in the move, and I'm like, is he shocking him? Like, is there a buzzer somewhere? Like, what? Why is this?
I remember I used to grab their arms and do that twisting motion.
Yeah.
Like, and like it never looked right.
No,
it's like, oh, I'm like, no, his arm looks fine. Like
you're just holding his arm. Yeah, it just looks bad.
Like nothing's happening. And when did the Boston Crab become like a garbage move that like anyone can like survive? And it's like,
well, how did she flip through? Like, I didn't.
It's impossible.
Yeah, I know.
You can't. It's impossible. You can't. You don't have enough. You don't. There's not enough like force. You can't generate enough like force from that position to like kick out of that. It's just like you're like, oh, okay.
She flipped through and then like rolled her up in 1, 2, 3, and I was like, okay. Once again, like, what is Dana Brooke's finisher? The surprise roll up? Like, what is this? This is ridiculous. Tamina does the Superfly. She does the move her father made famous. She does the Superfly smash. She also does a Samoan drop. So, like, Tamina's the better ring, like, performer. Like, Dana Brooke looks good, but she does that one move and then she's lost. Then she's just beaten up. And then she just flips. I'm like, and rolls Tamina up and wins. I'm like, what the hell is going on? How is this even a match?
I think the days of the 1 or 2 moves per guy is over.
It's over.
Like that used to work for like the heavy duty guys like the Hogans and all that who would, because like Hogan would just like slam and leg drop, clothesline. Like, there wasn't a lot going on. But it's okay because that was what Hogan's thing was. Like Andre the Giant is the worst of all time.
Oh God.
Right? Like if he actually hit you his hardest, you just be knocked out. So, and he can't really pull his punches that much because it's like as soon as it comes swinging down, it's like literally like a log falling. Right?
Yeah.
So, but you couldn't do much with him.
I know.
You can't knock him down. Like he's unpinnable.
Yeah, I know.
Like if somebody laid on top of that guy, how is he not getting up? Like,
well, when Andre finally was pinned by Hogan, I think this was around the time of like Princess Bride when his back was destroyed.
Yeah.
So he legit probably couldn't get up because his back was just destroyed.
Everyone has to come in and help him get up or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like one of these. It's just like he's just one of these characters that like, or people, whatever, that you just can't. You can't work with that guy.
No.
Like I never understood how like you can't win. Well, that's why Giant never got a belt because he would just be unbeatable. Like there's no way that you would make it realistic that you beat that guy.
Right.
So he was just like an attraction.
Yeah. That's literally, and that's what you do with a guy like that. Like it's like this guy they have now, Omos.
Yeah.
He's 3 and 350 pounds. Who's beating that guy? Like,
okay, so I wasn't paying attention to the men's matches really, But Raw, I usually watch SmackDown and Raw up to as much as I can.
Yeah.
SmackDown I can usually finish the entire thing, but Raw goes till 11. So sometimes I start to get real sleepy, and I'm like I can't do it anymore. So maybe I'll continue it. But the last that this was on Raw, right? He was one of the last attractions, right? This is the one of the last things I had seen. Like I was kind of dozing off, and I'm like, I'm gonna have nightmares of this huge man, like because that's the last thing you see before you go to bed. I'm like, okay, quick, like think of something else, like. It couldn't have been the Liv Morgan match before.
Yeah.
I was like, I had to see that guy. I'm thinking, great, I'm gonna have nightmares of this guy like smashing me or something. And then when I didn't realize how large this guy was until I saw him in the ring. I saw him in the ring. I thought it was CGI. I thought they did forced perspective, like how like Peter Jackson. It's a camera trick, right? If you stand a guy, it's like this phone appears larger than me. Like obviously this phone is not as big as my head, right? But here, if I put it like that, then it looks larger than my head, right? I saw, and I was kind of dozing off, and I'm like, oh my God, what is that? I'm like, this, I thought it was like some CGI character. I'm like, why is there like
he's not even in the ring. He's like 17 rows up. And
yeah. I'm like, why is this? What is happening here? I'm like, is this a wrestler? I'm gonna watch it when we finish the stream. I gotta rewatch because I still have it on my PVR.
You were like, did I actually turn on a basketball game? Like, what is going on?
But like, it's crazy. He's enormous.
Yeah.
I thought, well, this guy can't lose.
No.
Like he'll never lose.
No. It's impossible.
Like he shouldn't be a wrestler. It's too outrageous. Like,
yeah, it's bad. It's like, really bad.
He's like, he is literally like 3 feet taller than something. Like he is like this much taller than something. I'm pretty tall. I'm not super tall. I'm 6 feet, right?
Yeah.
So maybe if I stand straight, maybe I can get to 6'1" if I'm, and it's like I've looked up. There's some people like, whoa, this guy's pretty tall. You look up, but like this is like this. This guy is like more than my head, larger than I am. Like he literally can't walk into my room. Oh my God. Okay.
You'd have to take a picture and show it to him.
I mean, it's crazy. Okay. Yeah. So that was like a stupid,
It was bad. It was like so bad.
Oh my God. Okay. So the main match was Liv and Rhea Ripley versus Carmella and Queen Zelina. And I like how I'm wearing Liv's shirt today.
Yep.
And you've got Sasha Banks on, but Rhea Ripley was wearing this shirt, and
yes,
and Liv was wearing her shirt. I thought that was really cool.
That was cool.
And then I got really okay. So this is weird. Like Carmella. So this is where we have this breakdown, as we were saying earlier in Double C, saying with the booking of the tag champs. So like Liv and Rhea just won. Like I don't.
And it was done in. First of all, I gotta say, I cannot stand Carmella and Corey Graves together. I
cannot stand it either. It's awful.
It's like, please God, I don't care if they're together in real life. Do not have them on the same show. Yeah. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
It was like, and again, Carmella actually at one point was a very talented in-ring performer. They're doing nothing. They're making her a moron now. Like it's incredible. Like she's totally worthless.
Right.
Corey Graves, I could barely stand the guy anyway. With him and Carmella, it's like, forget it. I can't stand it. Bless you. I just cannot stand it. She's terrible. Why was she over talking to Corey Graves for 10 minutes?
Yeah, I don't get it. It's not even like that kind of thing should be 1 second. Like she goes over, hey Corey, hey Carmella, turn. Oh shit,
Yeah.
But she's literally having a conversation. How's it going? Oh, it's going great. This is so stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Like I've seen things like that before, where like the manager pulls someone out, or they're talking, and oh shit, get back in. You know, even with Seth Rollins, or was it Seth? Yeah, where he tried to get back in.
Yeah,
and thing was grabbing him, and he tried to get in there, and it's like, oh, and then like it's like whoa, and then they get pulled. It's like, oh.
Can I just say that?
Oh, their show got canceled. Is that what you're talking about?
Based on what? Because they were hyping it up on WWE Network, and they were showing commercials and that. Based on their interactions on that show, it deserved to get canceled because they're just bad. But that
do you mean I don't like the word cancel anymore because I don't know what it means. Does it actually mean the show was stopped, or are they canceled because they said something stupid?
Yeah, you can't tell anymore.
Like, for me, it used to be like, oh man, this, Dark Matter got canceled, and I really liked Dark Matter, and or whatever. Now it's like, oh, this, now this got canceled. Is it canceled because someone said something that
stupid.
no one stupid, or is it actually like legit canceled because it was just shit ratings and no one cared?
Well, I mean, based on who we got here, it could be very well because of something someone said. Because between the two of them, someone's going to say something stupid at some point.
Right, they're both goofs.
Yeah,
and the thing is sucky, so it might be like they got canceled because it was just a garbage show, or it got canceled because they said or did something weird.
But the triple threat match, the men's triple threat match, was amazing. Randy,
yeah, I kind of had that on. Like, I don't pay attention, but it's just on in the background.
Randy Orton hitting an RKO on a guy doing a moonsault.
Yeah, that was neat. I saw that.
Ridiculous.
That was pretty. It reminded me of those wrestling vines or whatever.
Yeah, me too. I was laughing, but and they kept replaying it because it was so amazing to watch. And then it was buckle bomb, stunner, stomp, and then the shady win. Like Riddle threw him out, and then pinned Gable, who had just taken 3 finishers, so he wasn't getting up anytime soon. I like
it used to be one finisher. Now it's like you have to do so because the show's done.
Okay. 7 I just find it hilarious when one guy takes 7 finishers.
Yeah. Oh my god! It's like
how was
45 tombstones. He kicked out. I remember I remember I'm always trying to remember the first time where someone kicked out of a tombstone. And you're like,
yeah,
it was like Kane or somebody, and you're just like, what? What? Someone kicked out? And it's like 2 tombstones. It's like, okay, fine. It's like, and then I always think just do a tombstone right away. But
yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't start with the finisher. But what I would say is that Zelina got some good offense, and I really like that move where she crossed Rhea's arms and was dragging her up. I thought that was pretty cool. Zelina's
I like her.
Good in ring. She's got that finisher, which is basically a version of the Canadian Destroyer, where she someone's bent over and she jumps on their back, she's upwards on their back, and she does a somersault and basically does a power bomb that way. It's like a flipping power bomb. It's really cool. She calls it the Code Red. Problem with Zelina, and we saw it here today, or again on Raw last night, was Rhea Ripley just treats her like a rag. She literally had her up in a vertical suplex position and still had the wherewithal to kick Carmelina when she ran into the ring.
Right. Rhea Ripley's like enormous and super strong.
Yeah. Like,
she's really strong, and you're just like, why is this like? This is like not happening. You can't. Sometimes it's like you can't be a good wrestler.
no.
Right. This is why
Yeah.
in real matches they have weight classes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Rhea Ripley just owns. Like Rhea Ripley by herself could beat those two.
Yes. Yeah. She doesn't even need Liv Morgan.
Like,
I mean, it's great to have Liv there, but she doesn't need her. Like, she got the hot tag this time and she still hit.
Yeah.
They never do her knee move right, where she does that like knee like it's almost like a code breaker.
Like the two knee
yeah.
The two knees.
They never show that angle properly. It always shows either you don't see it or like you see that she missed it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks bad.
Yeah, this time it showed she missed it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why that is. I haven't seen enough to kind of like maybe the camera operators just aren't like, or I guess they're they just for some reason they just can't seem to get that angle correct.
Well, what I think it is why it's weird is whenever Jericho did it, he did it like front, like he would bring it down, like he would climb up there, like so his knees were up front like this, but she does it on the side like that, and I think that might be why it never looks good. It's just it looks weird because of the angle she hits them at. She does it sideways instead of frontways.
Yeah, so if you were to show that, if the person is standing and the knees are coming sideways, you have to be the reverse side of that.
Yeah.
On a camera for
you got to move to a different spot.
So I don't know, like, I mean, but that would be us as filmmakers choreographing that angle. And it's like, okay, you're going to do it here. Well, I'm going to shoot you from this side and then it'll look okay.
Yeah.
But when it's a live match and the cameramen don't really know what moves are coming when.
You would think they would choreograph where to stand, so that's good. Like they would rehearse it, but maybe, I don't know. Like it.
Like I know that like Macho Man would be a real stickler for rehearsing, but like a lot of them don't. A lot of them just do it off the fly. I remember, I think it was it Ric Flair or someone was saying I like doing it. Just go out there and do it the night of, and we kind of we can feel each other wing it. So I don't know. I don't know what people do anymore. I don't know if there is a lot of time to rehearse. Like see back then when Macho Man was really. Like Macho Man would have a jobber match, and Macho Man, like these guys, Macho Man, Hogan, and whatever, they only fought on the pay-per-views.
Yeah,
like the matches that they had, on the weekly shows were rubbish.
Right? Occasionally, Saturday night's main event, if they had that might be something.
So they could rehearse if they needed it,
right?
But like now, it's like, or I mean, really. Queen Zelina has 400 years to rehearse because you never see her. So, but but it seems like it's like Charlotte. Basically, it's who do I have? Yeah, Nikki. Basically, everyone I have down here.
Yeah.
On our screen here are the only people that show up and do stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and even then, like Alexa Bliss hasn't shown up in a while.
Right, right, and Sonya Deville just gets beat up every week. She's like the Brooklyn Brawler.
Yeah, she literally is. Like they made the Brooklyn Brawler an authority figure.
Right,
but like, I don't with this one. I just didn't understand. Like, the team up was like whatever. To me, it's just like them realizing, oh crap, we can't have Sasha and Naomi single against Carmella and Queen Zelina because they'll wipe the floor. So in essence, you made it Sasha and Naomi versus Rhea and Liv, and these other team is here who probably won't even factor in.
Right.
So it'll be like this triple threat match where basically Chad Gable was around to get beaten up by the other two teams, and then it's a question of who's going to pin him.
Yeah, we're just going to be Carmella will get pinned by somebody, and we're just going to wait to see what happens. Yeah, and then Zelina and Carmella will. Here's what they're going to split up at Mania.
They will. Obviously. They have to. Zelina actually has like she's being used. The Queen thing was kind of fun. Like She does the terrible English accent, which is great. But
isn't Charlotte the queen though?
Well, there you go. There's a rivalry that should come about.
That should come about. Who's the real queen?
Yeah.
The winner gets to call themselves the queen. I
Yeah.
used to like where like, and this is a wrestling thing, like with, you know, like hair matches and stuff like that. It's like, you know, if you're gonna cut your hair anyways, then at least let them know and say, hey, I'm thinking about changing my hairstyle. Why don't we work that into a match? Because then that'd be interesting, you know. Yeah, if they're gonna ditch the queen thing, then just have a queen match, you know.
Yeah, but you notice now that they don't call Charlotte Flair the queen anymore. They sort of call her the opportunity.
Yeah.
So
yeah, why is that?
Well, I think it's because you got Queen Zelina. You can't call Charlotte the queen if you got Queen Zelina.
Yeah.
But again, like, I don't know, like, the opportunity. I'm like,
what does that mean? Yeah.
I don't know, like, opportunity what? To go to bed? Like, what?
Yeah, I know. Opportunity.
What's my opportunity? Like, that's why I liked Edge. He was the ultimate opportunist. I'm like, that makes sense. He will take advantage of whatever situation. But they're like, Charlotte's the opportunity. I'm like, for what?
It's like, okay.
To eat 6 hot dogs in one sitting? Like, what is her
Give me my opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't like acknowledge me either.
No.
I don't get what that means. Like, acknowledge you. Okay, there you are. It's just like Buckaroo Banzai says, wherever you go, there you are.
Yeah.
It's like,
I think it's short form for acknowledge me as your tribal chief.
Right.
Acknowledge me as the head of the table, but it just says acknowledge me.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, hey, how's it going?
And how many times did they have to show Brock Lesnar getting beat up at Madison Square Garden on Saturday? It's like they showed it 3 times. I'm like, just in case I've had a concussion and I forgot from 10 minutes ago.
If you're just joining us on Madison Square Garden, Brock Lesnar got his ass whipped. And it's like 5 minutes later, just a reminder. Yeah, I was completely stunned. So they showed that. I thought, oh, that's kind of neat. And then I'm like, they're showing it again. I'm like, did I see this already?
Did he get his ass beat 3 separate times on Saturday, or was this the same thing?
Yeah, it's like if they showed it again, it's like, okay, yeah, I got it. I got it. I know your damn words now. You get this straight, the both of you. I'm doing Army of Darkness now. Okay, so yeah, she gives them opportunities. Yeah, I think that, yeah. It's just funny because it's like she gives them opportunities to get beat up, I guess.
Beat up. And usually she turns down half her matches, so sometimes she's the opportunity.
Yeah.
Like
not today.
I mean, with me, I'm like, Charlotte they just start calling her the opportunity. I'm like, did I miss something? Again, social media, I should follow her. It's like, oh, I give women up. It was like evolution. Like when Triple H came out with Flair, Orton, and Batista, everyone knew they were the new 4 horsemen. Right. So I'm just saying. So I saw the beginning when they all 4 walked in and they had the music, or did they even have the music at that point? I can't remember.
I don't remember, but
might have just been Triple H. You know, it's all about the game, not how you play it. Blah blah. Blah. And he's like, this is evolution. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, they're evolving to the new 4 horsemen. He kept saying evolution. I'm like, okay, we get it. You're the new 4 horsemen. And then they just started calling the team evolution. I'm like, wait, that's it.
It's like, we're the Darwins.
Yeah, we're the Darwins. Our finisher is called Inherit the Wind.
They call it the Darwin Drop or something. The Cro-Magnon Crunch or something.
I thought there was a tag team called the Darwins at one point. And they were like stupid or something.
As an off-topic thing, there was this comedian. I forgot what his name was. He was really funny. It was on one of those. I can't remember what it was called, like Best Comedian or something. It's like it was one of these like American Idol shows, but it was for comedians. Last Comic Standing. That's what it was called.
Okay. Yeah.
And he came in and he's like, this guy had long hair and he comes hunched over and he's like, hi. Because you may recognize me as the third guy from the left on the evolution chart.
Oh!
It's like, yeah. He's like that third one in there. His jokes were like one-line jokes.
Yeah.
So he's like, I walked into a record store and asked for 50 cents and they threw me out for panhandling. Stop saying it was he would just come up and just do one-line jokes. And I'm like, this guy's awesome. I don't know where that guy went. But yeah, he's like, I'm like the third guy on the evolution chart. It's like, because you don't want to be that first guy. He's just an ape. And then it's like, you eventually get to something that's like somewhat human, but you're like, I don't know if I want to be that guy, but he's that guy because he's all hunched over. He's got long hair and a beard and he looks kind of scraggly. He's like, you may recognize me as the third guy on the evolution chart. But yeah, oh man. Anyway.
Missing link.
All right.
All I gotta say is that
anything else to say?
If we look at Mania right now, the matches are, I'm just going to pull them up, so just bear with me for a second. If we look at the WrestleMania matches right now, I mean, there are, some women's matches, but right now it's just Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey, Becky versus Bianca Belair.
Yeah. Well, those will be good matches, though.
Yeah. And this 3-way tag match. And it's like, okay, you have probably the best crop of women performers ever. You need more than this.
Oh, you need way more. And this is a 2-night event. Jesus H. Christ on a popsicle stick.
Yeah.
This is going to be a slog fest.
Oh, yeah.
Like, these 2-nighter ones are killing me, man. They need to have like 7 or 8 female matches.
Oh, big time.
Like give me a break. Let's double see the I follow pretty much most of the people down here, and Liv was showing some of the stuff from the game, and holy crap. You know what's so funny? So I'm watching because I'm watching it off the phone. I just got an NXT email because I ordered the shirts that we're wearing. So now I get all these like things. But I wonder if I can find it. I think it was on Instagram, but it's like because you're watching it off Instagram, it's really small, and because it's really small, hey, like see here, this is a breaking. This is Sonya Deville with Liv and Bianca. I don't know if you won't be able to tell. Maybe it's too glary.
Oh yeah, sitting there. Yeah.
They're all sitting there. It's like, hey, you're not allowed to be hanging out.
Faces are consorting with the heels.
Yeah, that's not good. But no, I'm trying to see where. I'll never find it again because you can't find shit on here. But like, she literally posted it, and I'm like that. And I thought it was the match because I'm looking at it on a phone, and it's about this. It's about half your phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was like, I don't remember this happening. And I'm like, oh my God, that's the game. Like, if you look really closely, like you could still tell that it's a video game, but I thought it was a clip from the real match.
Well, the best story I have ever heard about the evolution of video games was by you. And when you said this, it sounded preposterous, but then it happened to me too. And I'm like, okay, J-Man has made me a believer. It was Arkham Asylum. And you're watching it because he's walking through the asylum with Joker. And then the gameplay starts and you're like, oh.
Yeah, this is right. I remember because that was the first time where the cut scene and the real game was the same.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, I'm in the game now. Oh shit! Like what the hell? Because back for us when I remember with the evolution of games, when you had a cutscene, you're like, "Whoa, this looks really cool." And I remember we'd always say, "How come the game can't look like that?"
Yeah.
And then now I don't know what game was the first game to do that, but Arkham, Arkham went right in. It's like you're doing the scene and you're like, "Oh, am I supposed to be playing now?" It's like, "Oh shit, I'm playing now." It's like, "Oh, okay." Yeah. And I know that's Arkham's not the first game to do that. But it's the first time where I was like, whoa, I'm like, whoa, what the hell happened here? Like, this is the game now. So the wrestling stuff's awesome. Yeah. So if you follow any of these ladies on their socials, then you'll see stuff. But Liv posted a bunch of stuff from the game. It's like, whoa, that looks awesome. So I just don't even, I have Xbox 360 and Steve has nothing. What do you have, Steve?
I have retro video games.
Yeah. The last thing I got was Xbox 360. Are they on PlayStation 5 now? Is that what they're on now?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, so I don't have that. I don't know what Xbox is. There was Xbox One. I don't know if there's something after that.
I assume Xbox 2.
I don't even know. I had to ask. The only reason I know there's PlayStation 5 is because I asked the guy at work today because the new Street Fighter's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
What PlayStation are they on right now? He's like 5. I was thinking 5. Whoa! I'm like, didn't 4 just happen?
Yeah.
The last one I remember was PS3. And I'm like, yeah, PS3. That looks cool. And then I just nah.
The last console I owned was the Wii. Before that, I owned a PS2, and I sold the PS2 to get the Wii, and that was the dumbest thing I could have done. And after that, I'm like, you know what? The Wii killed me for consoles. I'm like, I'm not going back.
Yeah, I don't like Wii.
No,
I didn't like it.
No, it's, and God, I got a friend who's like the Switch, Xbox Series S.
Oh my God, I'm so behind.
I'll say this for PlayStation. At least I know it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With Xbox, it's been Xbox and 360 and 720, and then
I don't like that. I would prefer numbering if you're gonna do it.
Yeah. I always prefer numbering over anything. Like this friend of mine is like, "Oh, the Switch is awesome." I'm like, everything is awesome now, now that everything's gotten awesome, I've yearned to go back to when it wasn't awesome. It's weird. That's just how I am. I'm like, oh, I want to see when things were awesome for me, not when things were awesome for the next generation.
Right. Yeah. I like the classic games, but I've watched, I watch all the retro stuff. So and I mean, the King of Kong, Fistful of Quarters, like that.
Yes.
I've watched that documentary 4,000 times.
Yeah.
I know everything.
Yeah.
Literally, I put it on all the time. I know it's old now, and even back then when it came out, they were already beating that record, but I just cannot get enough. But the wrestling games look incredible.
The wrestling games have just gotten better and better as time's gone on.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. It's like the Mortal Kombat games. Like I look at the Mortal Kombat games now,
insane.
And I'm like, the rendering is like preposterous. I'm like, this is like crazy. Like Rambo looks like Stallone.
Yeah, I know.
Like Man, is perfect.
I got a 65-inch TV. You put Street Fighter on. You're like, holy crap! It's I've got Alien Isolation, man. I gotta try it. I gotta play it.
Dude, Alien Isolation looks like fun. Like I got the Arkham games on Steam. Just because I'm like, when I was playing Arkham Asylum, I'm like, oh my God, you're in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, this is what we talked about as kids.
Yeah.
Right? Spider-Man 2, you are Spider-Man. You're swinging through
the
city of Spider-Man. Like, I will say that the games do the wish fulfillment thing really well.
For sure.
I just can't stand the quotient of gameplay to cutscenes. It's like, play a little bit, cutscene for 10 minutes. Play a little bit, cutscene for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not used to that. I need to be controlling. I need the story in the beginning, and then the rest of the entire thing is me controlling everything.
Yeah.
I don't like even little animations, like you open a door and it's like, I'm like, I just open. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, why are we stopping momentum?
Well, the thing that killed me from video games really was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And I know everyone loves that game. I have it on Steam. But when I sat down, I was like, okay, what do I got to do? Okay, you got to go get something to eat. Then you got to work out. You can get a haircut. You can get... I'm like, I got to do that now.
Yeah, I'm not...
Like in my real life, why am I now playing a game where I have to do it?
Yeah, I don't like that either. It's just, it's too realistic. But anyway, okay. We're way off. Okay,
but this is indicative of what we didn't have to talk about this week because WWE's not giving us the ladies.
Right. There's nothing to talk about. So it's like we just have to, you know. I mean, yeah. All right. Well, I can't remember when the next stream is now because my memory is like so garbage. I don't know what's going on. I think it's Sean and I are doing the Death of Superman.
Is it Thursday, the 10th?
On Thursday, yes. So we'll be back with that, and that's going to be Awesome Comics of the 90s, and that's going to be covering the death of... I know everyone's hyped for Batman right now, so I thought let's do the Death of Superman. But that was a big thing in the 90s, probably the biggest thing that happened.
It made it to mainstream news.
Mainstream news, man. And a lot of people bought that comic. So, and I'll be showing my original copy that I had from the store from when it came out. So I'll and I opened it, so I can show everybody what you got inside. But and then we're gonna go from there. We'll see what happens. We might do a Phantom Zone this weekend. And there's still verses that we got to do as well. So we'll see how it goes. The only one for sure is this Thursday. So that is gonna be it. All right, guys. See ya.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man. And he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.